Hello everyone, coming at you from Denver, Colorado, hanging out at my buddy Joey Iannino's house. He writes books, he consumes a ton of books, and he is one of my favorite human beings. So I'm having another go at YouTube. It's probably, I don't even know, it's like my third time now, giving it a try. First time was back when I was in the Honda Element. I was daily vlogging, trying to be like Casey Neistat. That didn't pan out. And we're gonna get to why that didn't pan out in case, you resonate with this and you're looking for a different perspective or a different idea or just trying not to be lost. Hopefully my guidance or my way of how I look at it will help you. So I was basically copying Casey Neistat because it was working, and I think a lot of creators get stuck in that chasing thing of like, oh, what's the trend now? What's the trend now? Instead of being themselves and just posting things and possibly becoming a trend themselves. I think that's kind of really what you want to shoot for, but there's so much uncertainty when you're just making your own stuff that it's like, why even bother making my own stuff, because who knows if it's going to work or not. But I guess, that's the exciting part. It's kind of like what's around the corner, what's over the next ridge. Who knows? Let's go and find out. So I did the daily vlogs for a little bit. I don't even know, probably a month. And it was just like, it was a lot. Traveling and filming your life is a lot of work. Either way, I did it, I tried it, it happened. After that, I was in a school bus and I tried again, mostly because to have the school bus, which was through another YouTube channel called Tiny Home Tours that I'm a videographer for, I was able to borrow this bus for like 9 months, and one of the stipulations was I had to vlog, and that forced me to vlog for another a little bit longer than I did before, probably a few months. Actually, more than a few months, most likely. I don't remember now. But I noticed I was getting a little bit better, and started building some confidence. So if you're starting doing anything with a camera or your iPhone, GoPro, whatever it may be, it's gonna take a long time, and you just have to accept that. This is easily minimum 5 years of needing to make videos and trying to get better with each video, basically. And I feel like that's a natural progression, so you don't even have to think about it. You'll just naturally do that. And I have seen some YouTubers that have hundreds of videos, but they're all the same. They never got their quality up. They didn't take the risk and bought a nicer camera or learned, a different technique of using a camera. But either way, I think it's a natural progression that you'll go through to just get better, and your overall content creation will increase. So finally, I purchased an Astrovan for myself, all-wheel drive, basically a little overland machine, and I started filming again, but this time with a goal and an intention, and that was the game changer. Having an intention and a goal. My intention was, I want to be monetized on YouTube. And the goal is you have to get, I think it was 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time, and two-factor authentic login, whatever, I don't even know. And there was something else. Either way, that seemed like Mount Everest to me until I realized what was working, and it was this content I was making around my Astrovan. I did an Astrovan build series, and then I finally did an Astrovan tour, which ended up getting 40,000 views, which is a lot for me. I don't ever see that on my channel. But that brought in all the watch hours I needed, and that brought in the subscribers I needed. And I was actually doing really well. Now I have over 2,000 subscribers, and my overland videos or my adventure videos have done pretty well. Hundreds of views, I would say. Obviously it's not. You have to act your wage, as they say. When you have a low sub count and you're getting hundreds of views, that's going to be really normal for a long time. And there's probably some math in there. I would say like 10%. You want to aim for 10%. So if you have 2,000 subscribers, 10% of that's 200. So you want to try and average 200 views, and that's your engagement. And across the internet, from what I've learned over the years of working for other bigger channels and this, that, and the other, that's like pretty normal average engagement, I would say. 10 to 12. And if you're any higher than that, if you're up to 20% engagement, that's really good. That's really good. That means 20% of your followers are actually coming back and watching, and YouTube gives you those analytics. You can see them all day long, how many people are returning, and it's a good metric to look at. Instead of going, why am I not getting 30,000? Why did this video did not get 100,000 views? Like, well, YouTube doesn't know you yet. You haven't proven yourself to YouTube that you're showing up consistently, and also like your the heck is it called? Audience retention. That's enormous for YouTube. Like if your audience retention is below 50%, if it's like in the 30s, like YouTube's not going to recommend your video to anyone else because no one really cared to watch it. And you have to learn from that. You got to go, what happened here? Like what made people turn away at the 2-minute mark? They show you the analytics in that, and then you just go and in your next video you make a minor adjustment and see what happens next. And sometimes, it's out of your hands, especially if you're making content outside, because you never know what's going to happen. Like things are always changing and moving, and that is a big frustration too when you're like just starting out, you have low views, low sub count, and you have this big goal in mind, you want to be this person later on, and it's like it can get really overwhelming really fast. And it's like you have to bring yourself back to this like present state. You almost have to like zoom out to come back. It's kind of odd, but you just have to constantly remind yourself like, dude, this is where we have to start. Like in 5 years, maybe we'll start seeing tens of thousands of views per video. Or if you get lucky, or maybe you just get lucky and a video pops off and you gain a bunch of new audience and they stick around. That's really what you kind of want, actually. But the only way to do that is make a ton of videos. And eventually one of those will go. And when one of those will go, that's the big fish, and it'll reel in all the smaller fish to come look at all your other stuff. And these are the things I keep reminding myself every day. Like I woke up today, I posted a video yesterday of me bass fishing, and I thought it was great. Caught a ton of fish and made it slightly compelling with what baits are working, what baits are not working. And, I thought it was pretty good. And I wake up to see only like 28 views. I'm like, oh man, I suck. Like I immediately went to that. It's like, no. Like, these things just take time. They just take time. And that video could blow up in a year from now. For all I know, that video can go get 1 million views in 6 months. And that's what happens a lot of the time, is a video will take off 6 months to a year later, which is interesting because maybe right now it's not what YouTube market wanted. Maybe it's not what people needed to see right now. Maybe eventually that'll happen. And I noticed that with my my channel. For a while when I stopped posting last year around like July, I think. And since July till now, basically almost over a year, I still average 4,000 views a month, like without posting anything. So that alone right there tells me like all you have to do is just post a ton of videos. And a few of those videos actually took off. I had no idea they would. They did. So you just have to just keep posting. And eventually a video will go off. And you'll have all this residual views in the background while you're getting new views, and those will compound into tens of thousands of views a month. And next thing you know, you're compounding. It's like compound interest. Eventually, it's just gonna just blow up. It's just gonna go. You just have to remind yourself of that every single time. And at the start, it's like don't get too caught up in trying to be perfect. I for sure suffer from this perfectionism thing. And it's like, let that go, man. Just let it go, because you're not being you now. Now you're not being authentic, and it doesn't come off good. Like right now, I'm not trying to be perfect. You know, I'm just sitting here talking to my computer. But it's like, make the videos you want to make, and don't stick to just one lane. Like, just post all sorts of things. Like I'm doing this right here. I wasn't expecting that I would do this, but it was something that I was just compelled to do. Something just felt like I needed to do. So I opened the laptop and now here I am just talking. And I'm gonna post this, and probably 2 people will listen to it, and that's fine, but it's a practice of this muscle that you have to build. And it's just make whatever you wanna make. Like I made a bass video the other day, and Sunday I'm gonna go make a fly fishing video. And maybe the fly fishing video will do way better, because now we're in the woods and I can make a better film around it. I can create something different now. I can show off my Astro a little bit more and get a little more in depth instead of just like run and gun fishing, you know? And you just got to try different things. And we do that at Tiny Home Tours all the time. Like we have 1.3 million subscribers there. We get millions of views a month. And we're constantly tweaking and changing our videos each and every time we go out and make them. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. You know, sometimes the easiest, simplest, dumbest video, you're like, wow, that one did well? Like, what? But, you know, that one you weren't really thinking hard about it. You just went and just did it. You just went in and just did the job and got out, and then it blew up. And the ones you really try to put a lot of effort in, I think that's where it doesn't really go right. A lot of the times. A lot of videos that I really put effort into usually end up not doing well. And the videos I just kind of let happen end up doing well. Yeah, it's very difficult, but it's like letting go of this control. And I am a control freak, like big time. So for me, letting go of control and just getting out there and just letting life unfold as it is, I think is the way to go. And you're just not limiting yourself. Like I'm gonna make more Astrovan content for sure. My rig is completely different. It's upgraded quite a bit since the last one. And I'm just gonna keep incorporating like a little just adventure videos, just really cool adventure videos that I've always wanted to do when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I would just walk into the woods because I was so astounded by it. And it's like, that's how I need to show the world what I'm looking at. It's like, wow, like look at that light touching those leaves. Like that may seem mundane for some people, but those are not the people I need watching my video then, you know? Or maybe it is. Maybe those people need a little inspiration to get outside. I don't really know. These are just thoughts to myself here. And if you resonate with it, great. If you don't, well, whatever. So yeah, starting YouTube again is like, man, it's almost like getting back with an ex-girlfriend multiple times. It's like getting back with a ex-girlfriend multiple times, man. It's like, what am I freaking doing, dude? What am I doing? But you know you have to change. You know you have to change. You have to be different. You can't be the same person because you're gonna get the same results. And how do you be different? It has to be like a slight shift. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to completely transform your life. Literally just one little shift. And next thing you know, you'll see that change and you'll see a different reaction coming from the world. And you'll be like, oh, okay, cool. So if I just keep changing in a positive side, I'm gonna keep seeing positive results. And, you know, that's not gonna work linearly. You're still going to have the lows and you're going to have the highs, and that's just the way life works. Life is, as they in the hippy dippy world say, it's a vibration. It's a vibe, bro. Like, yeah, of course it's a vibe. Things go up, things go down. Just like the tide, just like the air in your lungs, just like the stoplight outside. Green? Okay, yeah, there's yellow, red, but like it's flowing up and down, like it never stops. This stuff is not easy, you know? It's so uncertain. It's like you're hinging your life on becoming a YouTuber and making money and passing other jobs. Like I've already passed by in the last month 4 other jobs, people. 1, 2, 3 other jobs. yeah, three to four other jobs I've completely was like, you know what? No, I can't do that. I need to concentrate on making these videos for the 28 people that watch them. Man, that's hard to do. But at the same time, luckily for me at least, like I have this other job with another YouTube channel, you know, like, and I make an all right living doing that. I make a part-time living doing that because the other part-time is me trying to be my own boss again, which I've been self-employed now for over 9 years. I've owned businesses. I've been successful at it. So it's like you got to take what you've done before and use that sometimes as some confidence to keep you moving forward. But man, is this going to be tough? And I hope I keep doing this for myself, you know? So when I'm old, I would love to, and if YouTube is still around, which I hope it is, I would love to go back to September 9, 2023 and listen to this and be like, wow, dude, like, I don't know, maybe I made it by then. Like, dude, you made it, congratulations. So I think it's important. It's important not to get all in your head thinking like, oh, what are people gonna think about this? It's like, who cares? Just post and ghost, as Joe Rogan likes to say. Just post and ghost. Don't look at the analytics right now because they don't really matter currently. You know, maybe one day my analytics will really matter to me when brands are knocking on the door or whatever it may be. But for now, it's just like, if you're really wanting to create something for the world, tell the world something, and you're afraid to hit publish, just like, remember, like, nothing's coming to get you. Nothing's gonna hurt you. Maybe some people in the comments will talk shit, but they're the former version of you. And honestly, you gotta treat them with some love sometimes. And when I get people all the time going, oh, I would have done it this way. Oh, you did it wrong. Oh. It's like, all right. I usually will just tell them thank you. I'll say thank you. And I'll leave it at that. Because their voice doesn't matter. Whatever they said to you doesn't matter. Because whatever you did in that time was your truth. And sure, maybe they're right. Maybe they were right. And are you humble enough to accept that they were right and say thank you even if they were right or wrong? And then implement it. You know, maybe they were freaking right. And maybe they weren't. But either way, just try to be nice. Try to just pretend that that's old you. How would you treat old you is going to let you know how you're going to treat future you. So, yeah, you gotta be kind. Man, that coffee's good. Man, I'm scared. This is hard. It's so hard, dude. Just, it's so hard not feeling like a loser, to not feel like I'm not gonna make it. It's so hard. It's imposter syndrome. It's everything. It's all of it in this one package called fear. And every time I make a video or do this, I have to push through that threshold. And so do you, if you're wanting to create something. And you know, it's not fun. It's not going to be fun all the time. But what will be fun is those moments. It's like the moments when, like, let's say you make it and you're growing and you get hit up by another YouTuber that you always like looked up to, let's say, and they want to collab with you. Or you just have some friends that want to go out and make a video with you. Like, that's where the fun starts happening. That's where the fun starts happening. It's you can't, I guess you could go at it alone. You very much could, but man, it's incorporating like the rest of the world is what is going to make it more enjoyable. Because if you're just solely focusing on making this content, then what are you even doing? Are you just making content or are you doing your craft? I think it should be more like doing your craft and you just so happen to record it. That's, I think, the sauce. I think that's the secret, where that's what I think everyone's looking for. Is like, for me, just go out into the woods and do what you do and you just happen to record it. Oh my God, you know, like the camera is just like this secret little spy or something. And you just happen to record it. Like, that's cool. I think that's cool. I'm trying to cultivate that mindset instead of going like, oh, I have to go work. Oh, I have to go do my job. It's like, no, I'm going to go, like when I'm with Tiny Home Tours, when I go film a tour, I try to think to myself like, cool, I get to meet new people. I get to learn a new perspective, which helps the understanding of myself and the world. Yeah, I get to make a little bit of money, but you really don't have to think about that because you're already going to do the thing. So you're already going to get paid. So it's like, whatever, who cares? But going into it with different intentions than this is my job and this is what I have to do really changes the game. And it's I hate to say the word practice, but it's a practice. Like every time these things come up, you have to rewire your brain from thinking like, oh, I have to go to work to, I'm going to go do this thing. And because this is what I want to do. I want to go fishing. And it just so happens there's a GoPro attached to me. But I'm gonna go fishing and do what I want to do there. And that's the authenticity we're looking for. When I go do a tour, I walk in there as if I'm visiting my mom, or my family, or my friends. I talk to people like they're my friends instead of like they're strangers. Like people let their guard down a lot faster when you just talk to them like you're like if my buddy Joey was here right now. This is exactly how I would talk to him. Like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, what are we gonna talk about today? That's the authenticity people want. People want to know exactly how you are. Because people can smell the BS, no problem nowadays. People know when you are not being authentic. And it's a big turnoff. And a lot of these influencers, whatever the word is nowadays, whenever they're posting reels or shorts or TikToks, like they're putting an act on. They're acting most of the time. When it's like, the reaction of my, I don't know, wife when I just randomly kiss her on the face. Like, I saw that recently. I'm like, dude, like that was staged. That's not even really real. That's not even really happening. Like, it's so obvious, and it's, I think it's hurting people. I think it's making people think that this is the world. This is how I should act. People will take on impressions. We're like big babies. We're seeing how that person reacted. Maybe other people will just start subconsciously reacting like that too. And it's like, well, that's not you, that's them. Now you're not being you anymore. It's like, I deleted the Instagram app off my phone. So anytime I go on Instagram now, I have to log in through Safari on my phone or on my laptop. And let me tell you, the Safari version is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And it makes me want to get off immediately, which is good. But getting off of that and being away from seeing everyone else doing stuff has really helped me refocus on who the heck I am. Because you get lost out there. You forget who you are once you're doom scrolling reels and TikToks and shorts all night long. Or maybe you don't. Maybe that's just me. But that's something I have to deal with. And unfortunately, I have to not be around that. And I have to do this instead. Maybe I am supposed to just be a creator. Maybe I am just supposed to be creating this and not necessarily consuming much else. Although I love watching cycling. I'm a big cyclist too. Love watching cycling because there's nothing really to compare there. I'm not comparing myself to these Tour de France style riders. They're beasts on a bike. I'll never get to that level. But if I watch an amateur race or a gravel race, then I start feeling a little bit, like, oh damn, like, man, I could be better. But it's like, why? I don't want to go race those races. I just want to go ride my bike to kind of move energy, and it's more of a meditative thing, I guess, for me. So sometimes you gotta take a step back and just stop taking in other people's opinions and ways of being and figure out what is your way of being. Like, who are you? I said this to my mom recently. I'm like, imagine if I wasn't taught God, I wasn't taught school, I wasn't taught anything. Let's pretend like I was just left to my own devices. Like, who in the heck would I be? Like, what would I think? if I didn't know God existed, or if I didn't grow up in Chicago, you know, like my family were just immigrants from a different country. You know, they didn't speak English. I learned Spanish and English at the same time as I learned how to just speak. And I'm very grateful for that, because now I can speak Spanish. But imagine if I didn't. You know, it's like, then, like, who are you at the end of the day? Like, who are you really are? That's a deep one. You can do that for the rest of your life. And I plan to. But it's almost like you're shaking off other people's ideas that you've taken on as yourself. Like, have you noticed that? Like, you are, like, when you really like someone, you start imitating them, you know? And it's kind of almost like jumping ship. You're abandoning yourself to be like someone else. But maybe it's because you're like, oh, they have a quality I wish I had, and I want to be more like that. I mean, I guess that's fine. That's like an upgrade, I suppose. But, like, that's not who you are. That's who they are. And maybe that's just an invitation to learn to like yourself more in that area that you feel dissatisfied with. And this all loops together with making a video. If you're wanting to create content, this all loops into that. Like, how are you going to make this video? What are you going to say? What is your thing? And we all see it too often, you know, people copying other people's ideas, people doing the same trendy thing that everyone else is doing just to get the money and the views and the things, you know, like, that's short-term thinking there. That's like, there's no longevity there. Like, you almost just need to create this legacy for yourself. Like, look at Bill Dance. I don't know if you guys watch fishing shows or not, but I grew up watching fishing shows, Steve Irwin, nature shows, all that stuff. And each and every one of these dudes were completely different than the next guy. Completely different than the next guy. But then I hop onto YouTube, and you start seeing people like Kicking Their Bass TV and Fletcher the Fisherman, Lojo, and a bunch of other people. It's all kind of the same now. They all kind of have the same shtick. It's all same intro, the same kind of things. It's all the same stuff. But then you go watch Hank Parker's Outdoors, Bill Dance, or any of these guys. Just radically different. And, you know, I think that's like where your success is going to come from. Just being radically different. Be the, what do they say, the purple elephant? Be the purple cow? I don't know anymore. Now I'm just rambling. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to get this out of me. I'm just going to post this somehow to the internet, and it does what it does. Just gotta keep making things. And eventually something's going to go. And it's going to fall upon the ears that need to hear this. I'm not doing this because I want a quadrillion views or money or things. I'm doing this because this is what I have to do. This is what I feel like I need to do. And if it helps someone, that's even better. Because as of now, it's helping me. And if it helps me, hopefully it helps someone else. So there's that. Just gonna keep doing things, making vids, whatever. And if you're a creator and you listened all the way through this, thank you. And if you would like to chat about your journey, if you're a low sub, let's just cap it off. Let's cap it off at 10,000 subs and under. If you're listening to this and you want to talk about your journey as well, coming up, and how hard it is, and just like the grind about it, shoot me an email. I'll leave it in my description. And then, yeah, we can do a chat together and kind of see what the playing field looks like. I think that'd be really cool. I think we need more collaboration like this instead of comparing and, looking at each other like competition. We're not competition. We're both in the same boat, and that is YouTube, and we're creators. And we need to help each other. We need to help each other out and build together. That's what ultimately is going to create the longevity. It's going to create a community. It's just going to be awesome. So again, I'm gonna leave my email in the description. Holler at me if you're a creator under 10K subs. I don't care what you do. Let's have a chat. See ya.